What is up, guys? UFC 309 just took place last Saturday. I'm going to go over the main event and the co-main event, talk about things that happened during the fights and stuff. But first thing I want to say is that was such a useless fight. That was such a useless fight for JonJones' legacy, because people are going to look back at that fight and be like, well, Stipe was out of his prime. He came back 4 years later out of retirement, and he just didn't look good. That was such a useless fight, you know. It was just ridiculous. Stipe literally looked like Mike Tyson out there, how slow he was and how he was plodding around the octagon, It wasn't a great look, especially knowing that this is JonJones' last fight most likely. I don't think he's going to fight Tom Aspinall, and I think that the UFC is not going to give him Alex Pereira, because Alex Pereira still has to fight Magomed Ankalaev. So this is probably going to be JonJones' last fight. And JonJones has been saying he's going to need to be compensated like a large amount to fight Tom Aspinall. That's how you know that he knows he's gonna lose that fight, because he's not asking for that against fucking anyone else but fucking Tom Aspinall, and he did it with Francis Ngannou as well. He's trying to get as much money as he can because he knows he's gonna fucking lose. It's ridiculous. But Stipe didn't look great out there in that fight. Very slow. Everyone with a brain who knew this, everyone who's not riding JonJones' meat knows this and knew that was going to happen. Stipe comes in looking like shit. But JonJones fans are just something else. I swear to God, they're probably the gayest people. I'm trying not to fucking say shit that's about to get this video taken down or fucking whatever. But these JonJones fans are ridiculous. I've never seen it in the MMA community where people just ride someone's meat as much as they do JonJones, especially for who this man is. Like, it's ridiculous, But JonJones, he looked all right in the fight. I think if it was someone like Aspinall in front of him that night, he would have got knocked out. He was running away from Stipe at moments, and Stipe was tagging him up. Even though he looked as slow as he did, he was still tagging him in some moments. And if that's Tom Aspinall with his speed and his timing, I think he would lay Jones out flat. He was running away from Stipe. I think if that wasn't Stipe just plodding forward, just walking forward after Jones is running away, Tom Aspinall will be running after him, knocking him the fuck out, But it was a pretty shit fight. Stipe couldn't find his timing, did nothing in the fight pretty much, except some moments where he would connect with a 1-2 or a 1. But it was such a useless fight. JonJones had a decent performance, but it doesn't really say anything if it was against that, It was a great Otsugari trip in the first round. It was a good takedown. Not gonna lie, that and the spinning back kick was pretty much the highlights of the fight. But I think we need to see this Tom Aspinall fight next. He's again trying to max out and just get as much money as he can for this Tom Aspinall fight, which is ridiculous. He did the same thing with Francis. He's just going to ask for a lot of money that's the UFC is not going to give him. And then they're like, well, they didn't want to give me the money, so I guess I won't fight. See, this is what he's going to do when he sees a dangerous matchup that he knows that he has a good chance of losing. This is what he does, And people are just blind to it because they just fucking love this wife beater, Love this steroid user. Love this junkie. But, it's ridiculous. People are so weird, genuinely. Motherfuckers will fan out and be beat riding this man that they never met, and he fucking beats women, takes steroids. But, And the crazy thing about this fight is after when Stipe retired, they didn't even give him, a montage or anything, a career, video for Stipe Miocic after he retired, the best heavyweight of all time. But they gave one to Carla Esparza. It's ridiculous. Joe Rogan was literally crying at the Carla Esparza retirement. But Stipe got nothing. They said, well, Stipe, see you later. The greatest heavyweight of all time. That was so disrespectful, It's Stipe Miocic, and you didn't give him a fucking send-off. But you give one to the most fucking ridiculous fighters. It's ridiculous. Carla Esparza gave the most boring fight in UFC history, and she gets one. But Stipe Miocic, the greatest heavyweight of all time, one of the greatest fighters of all time, didn't get one. I think this fight really just proved that JonJones did not like Stipe Miocic, and he just wanted to see him get his ass beat and give him a bad send-off, and give JonJones a fucking layup for his title defense. That's what it pretty much told me. And these John meat riders are just egging it on and fucking eating it up because they're fucking stupid, It was ridiculous. Pretty stupid fucking main event. Really pointless. Like, it was just a whole lot of nothing, pretty much. Hopefully we see the Tom Aspinall fight next. I don't think the UFC is going to give him that money, though. Because they didn't do it when he was asking for Francis, and he was asking for a lot of money. It's kind of easy to see through the game he's playing, but people are stupid, and people are blinded by their fucking gay fucking love for JonJones. But the fight was all right. It was mostly just JonJones whipping an old man. The fight that makes sense is Tom Aspinall for JonJones. Alex Pereira has someone in his division he has to fight, Magomed Ankalaev. That fight has to be made, So if JonJones wants to fight, he can fight Tom Aspinall. It's the only fight that makes sense. He's the interim champ of the division. It's so obvious what's going on. These people are just so stupid, these JonJones fans. But we'll see what happens with that fight. The Charles fight against Michael Chandler. Chandler hitting him in the back of the fucking head in the 5th round pissed me the fuck off. These refs don't even look at that. Like, every time there's back of the head strikes, they just stand there and look at it. They did it with the Kamaru Usman Colby Covington fight. Colby Covington's getting fucking bashed in the back of the head, and they just stopped the fight and call a finish on the fight. They didn't even call the back of the head shots, nothing. They didn't give a warning. And that's what they did in this Charles fight. Michael Chandler smashing the back of his head. They didn't give him a warning. Thank God Charles pulled it out, though. Michael Chandler cheating the whole fucking fight, though. He does this every fight. He did it in the Dustin Poirier fight. He does it in almost every fight, where he holds the cage. He'll put his fingers in your eyes while you're on the ground. Just fucking shove them in your fucking mouth and shit. And he'll grab your glove, Back of the head shots. It's everything, dude. Dustin Poirier fucking hates him for that, but it was a decent fight. Charles did what he had to do. He held every time he would get Michael Chandler down on the ground. He got his back. It was the end of the round, pretty much. He looked decent on the feet in early rounds. He looked very patient out there. He wasn't really rushing anything like usual, which was pretty good. His offensive wrestling looked great out there. He took Chandler down whenever he wanted to, pretty much. And he was stinging him on the feet as well. It looked very well rounded out there, per usual. But I don't know what's next for Charles. I think Charles should. He's going to have to wait. If he was going to get a title fight, he's going to have to wait for the Sarukian and Makhachev fight. But I'm kind of conflicted on what I would want, because Charles isn't getting any younger. You want to get him in there to the title fight as soon as possible. But people are calling for a Max Holloway fight with him. I don't really know if I would want to see that, because those are my two favorites of the sport. I don't know who I'd root for. Probably Charles, but it's a tough fight. And I think Max is probably going to take a couple months off, Probably going to take a little bit off after the knockout against Ilia Topuria. So, I don't know. I see people calling for Michael Chandler to fight down in the rankings as well. I think Michael Chandler needs to stop getting favoritism as well, though, because he's just been getting back-to-back good fights, big fights. I think he needs to fight an up-and-comer next. But Charles looked decent out there. Michael Chandler, of course, he looked rusty out there. He's been out for 2 years waiting for this Conor McGregor fight like a fucking dumbass. But he came out rusty, and he just couldn't really it just seemed like he couldn't get anything going. Charles kept taking him down. Every time he would try to build up to something on the feet, he just got taken down, and just held there for the round. Charles did great with that, great with control on the ground. He was fighting for chokes every time he was on the ground. He was stinging him on the feet, too, as well. He was walking him down, just like the first fight. But I think it was a decent showing by Charles Oliveira. Great performance. Michael Chandler, of course, looked rusty. But it was pretty much it. Mauricio Ruffy got a win in that fight, in his fight. I thought he looked good in that fight, but his cardio looked like it was giving out a little bit towards the end of the fight. But he still looked good. Always a good show from the fighting nerds. Favorite gym around here, around this channel. He looked great out there. Fadeaway, the no-look left hook when he knocked Line Top down was fucking fantastic. Great striker. Hopefully he can get that cardio up. We can see him against someone more up the rankings soon. It's a great fight, great performance. But again, I just think it's ridiculous. Stipe didn't get a fucking send-off or nothing. Didn't get anything. Like, I just feel like the UFC just hates him. Dana hates him. We know Dana hates him, but It was just ridiculous. This whole main event was just pointless. Kind of the co-main event as well. I didn't like. It was just a rematch against Chandler and Oliveira, but it was a decent fight. Good to see Charles Oliveira get back in the win column. Hopefully, he can put a win streak together. Love to see him get back to the title, but that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe. We got a fight card this weekend. It's Jan versus Figgy. I'm probably gonna go with Jan in that fight by decision. That's gonna be a great fight, though. Hopefully it's not a fucking stinker. Every time we're like, "Oh, this is gonna be a great fight," it just turns out to not be a fucking. It turns out to just be a snooze fest. But I feel like this is no way this fight could be bad. You know, it's gonna be fireworks from the beginning. Well, not from the beginning. They're both slow starters, but you know what I mean. It's gonna be fireworks in that fight. 5 rounds. You know, they have time to adjust into the fight. So I can't wait to watch that fight. But that's pretty much gonna be it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see next, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.